Today's gospel, and in particular the parable that Jesus tells in today's gospel, and where the parable ends and the interpretation of the parable begins, is quite convoluted. Why was the owner of the house pleased with the dishonesty of the steward? Are we meant to simply similarly steal to win over those around us so that they may vouch for us in heaven? I mean, how else are we meant to interpret? And I tell you, make friends for yourselves by means of dishonest wealth, so that when it is gone, they may welcome you into the eternal homes. Maybe we are meant to take from this that all wealth is in some way dishonest. And I mean, there is some truth to that. Some of the hardest working people I can think of are Dalits living and dying in India. You see, as part of my morning ritual, I have a few words flagged out for a news story, including sewers. And at least once every 2 or 3 weeks, one of those stories is of a man from the Dalit community in India, the group once referred to as untouchables, forced to manually clean out a cesspit or sewer for a private landowner or municipality and dying from sewer gases in the process. Now, I have 4 master's degrees. I have all kinds of licenses and certifications on my wall. I work 2 jobs. I have 2 kids. I put in the hours. I started working part-time when I was in junior high. There's a part of me that wants to say I earned everything that I have by honest means and I deserve it. But when I read those reports, I have to admit that I have not truly earned anything. If I had been born in a different land with a different colored skin or with different physical abilities or in a household where English is a fourth or fifth language, I would not have had the opportunities to do what I have done in this life. I got lucky. Just being in this room, we all have gotten lucky. Yes, absolutely. We have worked hard in this life, but that working hard is only part of the equation of our successes. And given that there are men dying in cesspits every couple of weeks, and probably much more frequently and not making the news, that hard work is nothing compared to the work that others do just to barely eke out enough to live and die in this world. So if we are honest with ourselves, then we do not deserve anything we have. And more than not having earned anything, there's a question of what we can even truly own. After all, we are only here for a short time. If our years are truly extended, we might make it to 115, but more realistically, 70, 80, 90, 100 years, and we are gone. We are just passing through in a universe that is billions of years old and has billions more years to go. We are stewards of what we have. We are only here to do what we can with the time that we have. This week, I was in Milwaukee at a conference in which consultants, municipalities, activists, academics, regulators, artists, contractors, and labor unions all met together to discuss how to ensure potable drinking water, sanitation, and an environment free from water pollution for future generations. It was interesting to see these groups come together to find common ground and to listen to one another's concerns and to work together to build sustainable and achievable solutions. It was one of the more productive conferences as a result. This was not about sales pitches. It was about what has worked, what has not worked, and how sharing that knowledge can help us all create better solutions. But it was also interesting to hear, even amongst consulting engineers, labor unions, and contractors, a really shared sense that our industry exists as stewards. No one in that room, no one at that conference was an exceptional source of water pollution. We are all doing our part to clean up water pollution, whether before it enters the environment by constructing, operating, and maintaining wastewater and stormwater systems, or before it is made available for human consumption by constructing, operating, maintaining water systems, or by regulating, researching, or advocating for these industries. And this idea of stewardship was really captured by a member of the local indigenous people who spoke of the Great Lakes as being something we cannot and do not own. We share them. Not even the nations of the United States and Canada can claim that a specific drop of water is theirs. Sure, there are lines on a map, but the actual waters we all own and eventually flow to the ocean where they are shared by all people on earth. And it is these shared waters that are the source of life in our world. We are all connected, and what we do impacts one another. In the waters, we can see made physical the spiritual connection that we all share through God, and it is at the core of today's gospel. And in the waters, we can see how all wealth is not simply dishonest in the sense of being stolen from others, though it can reveal that reality as well. But more importantly, that all wealth is dishonest in that it represents a lie to ourselves, that we can truly own anything. At best, we can be stewards of this world, doing our best to make it a better with the time, resources, abilities, and luck that we have been given, and giving all glory back to the true source of life-giving waters, the fount of all goodness, the triune God who is created, sanctified, and continually breathes new life into all that is. Amen.